Oh, that's horrible, but good. All right, and also, as always, with me is this week's comics. It's only three this week, and boy, were these three pretty weird. You got you got Detective Comics that has a weird marriage going on. You have Earth 2, where a bird lady and a guy that loves guys are fighting with each other, and a Earth 2 UN is trying to find a renowned person that is terrific at everything, which is weird. And then you have Action Comics, where the small guy with the bowler hat that I can never pronounce, Hemexiplex or some crap like that, takes Clark on a huge acid trip while there's a group of international bounty hunters hunting him in another world. So, yes, that's what I've been reading. So let's get started with, of course, Detective Comics, Death in the Family. Again, they got that cool little like booklet thing that has the list of all the lists of all what's coming up later on and stuff. But I don't know. This is good. I like this. I like how DC's getting a little creative with this. But so in this issue, it picks up after where somehow Clayface thinks he's married to Poison Ivy, which makes no sense. Number one, because Poison Ivy and Clayface are not of the same origin at all. So that was weird. But and you know how they have, like, when you go to the toy store and they have those Batman action figures with, like, different costumes on that have nothing to do with, like, the movie or the show at all? Well, in this issue, he actually has one of those costumes that he actually uses in the comic book. So if I ever see this costume at the store, I will get it because it makes sense to this comic. But at the same time, Clayface was poisoned into his roots. So he's clay, obviously, which Poison Ivy turned him somehow into dirt, which then the pheromones from this rare flower that Poison Ivy used got infused with his whole body, and Poison Ivy basically stepped up her pheromone stuff and made him hallucinate severely. But also, there's a side story to this as well, the death in the family, as you can tell from the Joker thing. Um, the Penguin is being controlled by the Joker, who apparently is getting really good at hiding in plain sight like Batman. Maybe he took a couple lessons, who knows. But there's also Emperor Penguin. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but yeah. So if you want to read this issue, because I'm not going to tell you everything, I'm just going to tell you the main parts of what the story is going to be about. And so if you want to pick up this issue, you should. And we move on to Earth 2, where we have Hawk Girl, this one right here, fighting against the new Green Lantern. So at the end of this issue, this guy, Jay Garrick, is picking up the pieces from losing his fiance and saving the world and getting this all powerful ring. While the actual ring that he wanted was a wedding ring, but he couldn't anymore because his fiance was dead. But then Hawk Girl is trying. Why would she be crying? I don't know. She's trying to get him to continue watching over the Earth because of how Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman in the first issue of Earth 2 die. So, while that's happening, there's the UN of Earth 2 is going to go find Mr. Terrific, which, by the way, his series got canceled. So I think this is a good way to put him into this. But it's pretty weird and pretty funny how each of these, not assassins, but more like special ops agents, have each of their flag on their chest of their suits. But it's looking to be that one guy in this Earth 2 UN has been pulling the strings of Solomon Grundy in the first place, and of the first attack in the first issue of Earth 2. So, follow up more on this, and I mean, this is getting good. It's getting good. It's not like, oh, look, JSA is together now. No, they're actually apart, and they don't really get along. So I like this, that they're not getting along right now. They're just more of figuring out what they are and who they are. So, pick this up if you want to read more about it. And then also, at the end, there's only 3 comics today, which is kind of unusual. There's more, but there's only 3 this week. Action Comics, number 15. Oh, by the way, this is Earth 2, issue 7. Action Comics, Detective Comics, number 15. Excuse me. Excuse me again, sorry. I don't know where that came from. This one has Clark in 3 different dimensions in this entire issue. One dimension, he's reliving his high school days. Second dimension, Hemexaplex's wife is explaining to him who Hemexaplex is, which, by the way, the art in this book kind of varies, kind of changes through the whole comic book, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, there's a lot of like flashy colors and beautiful colors and okay colors, and it just kind of like your eyes do this like ooh kind of thing, and it throws you off a little. But the story's good. And so while Hemexaplex's wife is telling him about himself, in the third dimension, he's being hunted by a alternate universe bounty hunters that have made the sun red, so he doesn't have any powers anymore. So there's 3 stories going on while Superman is in 3 dimensions, and this was a pretty good issue. As I say, the art and the colors just come at you or kind of stay back or are pretty soft. So again, if you want to read more, know more about this issue, go ahead and pick this up. It was pretty good. So that is it for this week's Coffee and Comics, or shall I say, very old tea and comics. But nonetheless, I say good night and please subscribe, and I will see you all later.